guys, I know it's been a minute, been a while, but here we are once again. I want to talk about the state of Warlock tanking in Season of Discovery, technically World of Warcraft Classic Season of Discovery, Phase 2, level 40. I'm a little bit late to the party. I've been extremely busy not playing World of Warcraft, so here we are, 40. I did, however, tank Nomer at 40. I had a lot of fun. And I wanted to talk about the state of Warlock tanking, where you guys are at, pick your brain, and also maybe get some information from you guys. Currently, I am spec'd into more of a DPS pump tanking spec than a damage mitigation spec. And the reason for that is I went into Nomer super fresh. Getting healed through it felt fine. We didn't really do anything crazy. So that being said, I am now the pumper tank spec. But essentially, I'm full destruction. I am 5 out of 5 kata to reduce the cost of, you guessed it, Searing Pain. It's the only button I really press, to be honest. Bane, you know, shout outs to Bane for Immolate. We don't use Shadow Bolt, right? Improved Firebolt, we do that because we're running Imp. Imp is great. Devastation, of course, for the crit for, you guessed it, Searing Pain. Improved Searing Pain, you already know what I'm going to say, for Searing Pain. And Ruin. It increases the critical strike damage bonus of your destruction spells by 100%, right? This is like, it's the most gimme talent you could ever ask for. This is the one that you want, you guys. This makes your crits go boom. Easy. 4, you guessed it, Searing Pain, right? By the way, I have 5 out of 5 Demonic Embrace for just, you know, more stamina. 15% more is really good. And Improved Imp, because Improved Imp makes your Imp even that much better, and it's great, right? So on a boss pull, if you want to min-max damage output, you want to put those warriors to rest, okay? You want to show these tanking warriors that Fury Prot is no longer a thing. This is Season of Discovery, baby. We out here, we discovering the beauty that is Metamorphosis tanking, okay? What you do, open with a nice Incinerate, okay? So your rune of choice for legs is going to be Incinerate. If you're having issues, you know, healers are complaining about your health pool, maybe you're not, you know, the best geared or whatever, maybe you have some leveling items on, I don't know. If you have issues, Demonic Grace is amazing, okay? 30% dodge is literally insane, and it's a 6-second, it's literally stupid. Demonic Grace is amazing. You can spam that on cooldown. But that being said, I prefer Incinerate for the damage output. You open with an Incinerate, okay? That gives you 25% increased fire damage for 15 seconds, all right? You can Incinerate, and then you Immolate, right? So you get your fire bonus from Incinerate, you Immolate the boss, and while you're running at the boss, right, you put up your curse, whatever your group is running. Maybe you're running Recklessness. I prefer running Elements because I'm greedy and I want my fire damage to do more, because you guessed it, Searing Pain, right? Put in your curse, spam Searing Pain a couple times, and throw up a Drain Life, okay? So I run Master Channeler on the chest, because Drain Life, you guys, is also busted. Drain Life, the sustain you get from Drain Life is literally stupid. So if you're running Master Channeler, that just makes your Drain Life into another dot. It is really, really good. I do want to test out a build, and I'll put it in the other video with how I leveled, where instead of going Destruction, we go full Affliction meta tank with Siphon Life and Drain Life and Shadow Mastery, right? So the goal of that is going to be just crazy sustain. And I know it's probably not going to be as good, and I know that people are going to laugh at me for doing it, and I know some of the talent points are silly because Nightfall makes no sense when you can't use Shadow Bolt, right? But hear me out. This is Season of Discovery. The meta is in shambles at the moment. I don't really care what the Sims are saying. I want to do things because I think they're cool, and I think if we try that, I think it'd be kind of cool, you know? I think it'd be kind of neat. That being said, it's probably not going to be good at all. So you open with Incinerate. Oh, World Bust just went out. You open with Incinerate. You throw up an Immolate, right? Throw up your curse and just start spamming Searing Pain. And then as soon as your buff from Incinerate goes back down to 0 seconds on the buff, of course, you just re-up. You just throw an Incinerate in. So the goal is your rotation is basically just Incinerate to keep up the bonus fire damage, keep Immolate on the boss, and spam Searing Pain. It's that easy. You can also keep up Drain Life for a little bit of extra damage. GG, easy. Make sure your curses don't drop. You've got 3 buttons to worry about in the entire game. You've got Incinerate, you've got Immolate, and you've got Drain Life. Easy peasy. This worked for me in Nomer. I was pumping the damage. It's great. Feels good. Plays well. It's honestly kind of boring. Okay? It's a little bit kind of boring. I still wish that Shadow Cleave was more useful. Still. Right? That being said, whatever. So there's your rotation. Easy peasy. Your runes, of course, you're going to want to run Incinerate on your pants. I run Master Channeler on my chest. The other option, if you don't want to run Master Channeler, you actually have 2 other very, very good options. Demonic Tactics is really good for just sustain, right? If you don't want to put up Drain Life, you don't have to, by all means. It's not the most damage output, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can run Demonic Tactics just for the spell crit, because crit is really good for us this phase. It's actually very, very good with us, especially if you're expecting a ruin, right? The crit is amazing. So that works out very well. Another option that you have if you want to go crazy DPS and you have the mana for it, Lake of Fire. You can actually put Lake of Fire down where you're planning to tank the boss. When the boss is there, you do 40% more damage. That's you and your pet, right? Because you're running Imp. So 40% more fire damage on top of your Incinerate, right? It's 65% more damage. It's stupid. Okay, your Searing Pains are going to be hitting for billions of damage. It's really good. So if you have the mana pool for it, you can do that. Another thing to remember too is now that we are in phase 2, we have multiple ranks of Rain of Fire. So if you do Rain of Fire rank 2, which is not preferred, right? It's 575 mana to put a Lake of Fire down on the boss. You can cut that in half by running Rain of Fire rank 1. If you do rank 1 Rain of Fire, you still get that 40% bonus. You just save the mana. It's really, really good. And I think right now it's even better to just do rank 1 Rain of Fire. Don't even let it tick. You just put it down there for a second, get the buff on the ground, and then Hellfire. You do way more damage getting the Lake of Fire buff on the mobs and then Hellfiring than you do spamming rank 2 Rain of Fire. It's actually silly. So that's something to do. It sucks that you can't do that as a tank because, you know, keep getting hit by mobs, drops your cast time gets dropped down to 0, but it is really cool. So there's an option you can use. Lake of Fire, I want to get to the point, I think after we get a few lockouts in with my guild and my group, I'll be able to switch from Master Channeler to Lake of Fire. Once the healers get a little bit more geared, once I get a little bit more stamina on my gear, I think I can switch to Lake of Fire, and then we'll be really, really pumping the damage. It'll be awesome. It'll be fun. On your waist, this is like the only rune that matters for your belt, by the way, if you're a Warlock player. The other runes are just kind of crap. Shadow and Flame is really good. This gives you every time it gives you your critical strikes with fire and shadow spells increase your fire and shadow damage done by 10% for 10 seconds. So as we were talking about earlier, crit is really, really good this phase. So if you want to run demonic tactics, go for it. You'll get your shadow and flame buff up. I noticed I was getting shadow and flame no problem every time anyway, so it didn't really matter. So that really good rune. You're probably not going to ever run anything other than that in your waist slot, so who knows, right? Of course, legs, we talked about it. Incinerate. Demonic Grace is your other option. In the leveling guide that I'm going to put out, or not, I keep calling it a guide. It's not a guide. In the leveling video, I'm going to show you how I did it. I actually ran Everlasting Affliction for my leveling portion of the game. But feat, of course, you want to run your Dance of the Wicked. Dance of the Wicked is amazing. You and your demon pet gain dodge chance equal to your critical strike chance each time you deal a critical strike to an enemy. Again, we're talking how good crit can be for a warlock this phase. It's insane. Also, you gain 2% of your maximum mana. Now, this has been fixed. Prior to me making this video, this was bugged. And it was, I think it was scaling off of your crit chance and not your maximum mana. I think it was supposed to be, it was like 10% of your crit chance or something that Dance of the Wicked was scaling off of. And it basically made it to where Warlock tanks never ran out of mana. That has been changed now. Now it is you regain 2% of your max mana whenever you deal a critical strike. So Dance of the Wicked is great. There's another rune for your boots that you can get that is very, very good. Demonic Knowledge. Yes. So yeah, Demonic Knowledge increases your spell damage and your healing by the value equal to 10% of your pet's total stamina plus its intellect. So you just get spell power on your boots. I would run Dance of the Wicked if you're tanking. If you're not tanking, if you're off tanking for your runs, switch to Demonic Knowledge. I don't have Demonic Knowledge because I haven't done all the Dark Riders yet, and I plan on mostly main tanking, so it doesn't really matter to me that much. It is what it is, right? And of course, you want to run meta in your hands. Hands will never change. If you're tanking on a Warlock, you're running meta. That's it. GG. Done. So I don't know if you guys found any value about this discussion. I don't know what you guys are running for your specs, right? Right now, I'm really enjoying the 823. Shout outs to the boys, Crix and Zephin for coming up with that. I personally want to try Affliction. If you are struggling though, if you're struggling, your healers are complaining at you, they're yelling at you, you've noticed your stamina is incredibly low, yada yada yada. Crix has a full demo build up on Icy Veins. I'll put a link to it in the description. Insane mitigation. I don't think anyone would ever need it, but hey, if you're struggling, maybe you're extremely undergeared, I'll put a link to that one in the chat too. It's the same concept, same rotation, same concept. You're just full on a beefy, beady Warlock tank. Leave a comment in the section below and let me know what you guys think about Nomer. Let's talk about Warlock tanking. If you're not Warlock tanking, let me know what you're doing. If you are salty and you're a warrior main and you're really upset about how warriors are being treated this patch, I agree. I'm sorry that you're going through that. Feel free to vent about it in the comments. Do what you guys want to do. I appreciate you for being here once again. I understand I haven't been streaming very much, but if you want to follow me, twitch.tv/winky. I'm sorry I'm rambling. If you found this video useful at all, dope. If you didn't, hey, I appreciate you making it this far into the video anyway. Shout outs to you. Love you all. Bye-bye.